Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel, the Everyday Non-Expert here, and today I'm going to be going over a spoiler review for the new Marvel What If Captain Carter were the first Avenger. Without further ado, let's get started. First, we start off with an introduction from The Watcher, voiced by Jeffrey Wright, who you may know from HBO's Boardwalk Empire. And then we have The Watcher telling us when the new universe was created, and it was when Peggy chose to stay instead of leaving the room because she was able to make a decision that was different from the movies. She actually saw the guy with the lighter who let the bomb off up where people were watching from above, but it looks like in this one he actually blew it up in the room where everyone was, and that actually damaged a lot of the equipment, and that was the big difference between what happened before and what happened now. And then the guy actually shoots Steve Rogers, so he couldn't jump in and get the serum injected. And here's a clip showing the guy being noticed by the doctor at that point, and here's where he lets the bomb off. You see it's above there. I don't know where that difference was. And then he actually grabbed the serum then, and you saw in the previous shot Peggy put the serum in. It's out. There's a lot of similarities between this scene and the same actual scene in the movies. It looks like Peggy's actually in the same position as Steve was when he got out of it. It actually looks like the exact same shot. So what I did is I went ahead and I put that same shot from the movie right here. So go ahead and check it out. And then they actually open up with Peggy punching the punching bag and knocking it off, much like they had Steve do when he was first introduced into the Avengers. And next, you have Steve joking that she could get stuck doing USO tours, which is actually what happened to him exactly. And then you see that Steve actually references Bucky, so it's just a little name drop saying that he already left or got deployed. And then you see Agent Carter actually kind of flirting with Steve, which is nice to see because then you know it wasn't just the serum. I mean, I think we knew that, but it is nice to see. And then we actually get our first shot of Captain Carter, and she actually flips this truck, which I know Steve as Captain America eventually gets really strong, but I don't know that he kind of was doing that right off the bat, but I still thought it was really fun. And then she actually gets the Tesseract, and then Stark will eventually build Steve an Iron Man suit that looks like Ironmonger, and they call it the Hydra Stomper. But here we have Captain Carter rescuing Bucky and the Howling Commandos. And this begins off a really cool montage. And I'm not going to put the clips here, but you'll see that the general takes a lot of credit when he previously was bashing Captain Carter for being a woman. And this is actually probably my favorite thing in the whole show, this whole episode. She takes down this plane, and she's taking down a bunch of planes at the end of the montage, and then she lands on top of Steve inside his little stomper suit that they were calling it. So I just thought that was awesome. And then right here you have Peggy telling Steve that the man in the suit is what matters. And that reminded me a lot of when Tony Stark said the same thing to Peter Parker. If you're nothing without the suit, you don't deserve it. That's sort of like the reverse, but saying the exact same thing. And how this thing basically ends is, it's not going to end well based on the Captain America movie. Peggy has to push back a Hydra monster that Red Skull brought in through the portal through the Tesseract, and they actually have like a similar back and forth where Steve goes, "You owe me a dance," and she goes, "Saturday night," kind of like they did in the first one, and then she goes into the Tesseract in the dimension, and this shot right here is actually paralleled quite well to the shot in Avengers when they were bringing in Loki. So I just kind of put them side by side so you guys could see. So they both kind of had those explosions, and then the portal develops, and then in the What If, Captain Carter is the one who comes out, and it's pretty much the same shot with Fury and Hawkeye standing there, but Nick doesn't know that that's Captain Carter, and Hawkeye actually says, "Sir, that's Captain Carter." So I wonder if that's Talos at this point. I don't have that memorized quite yet when Fury became Talos, but then Carter realizes that she's out of time, just like Steve was, even though they won the war. And here's the other shot, kind of showing Fury and Hawkeye, and then Loki coming out of the portal. So it's a little bit different, but similar. Okay, everyone, that is my analysis and commentary on What If Captain Carter were the first Avenger. This is the first of the What If shows that are going to be opening up the multiverse, I guess, in the MCU. And I hope you enjoyed it. I did want to make a few more comments before I let you go. And one was that Sebastian Stan had to come in and make some of the worst jokes. It was pretty bad. And there were some points where I thought the animation and action was a little too childish. So I can understand where people wouldn't like that. But in general, that didn't bother me too much. There was something where the Colonel was really giving Peggy a hard time about being a woman, breaking a nail on the battlefield, things like that. And I get it. It's a little oversaturated in today's climate and what people are doing in comics and movies and things like that. However, I do think it was very appropriate for this to address it because it would have fit the time. And the same people who complain about that being too in your face are the same people who want to say, well, we need things to be historically accurate. Well, guess what? That's exactly what would have happened here if they were being historically accurate. And I don't think they were shoving it in your face. I think it was matched exactly what it would have been like back then for her to try to do this. So that's my 2 cents on that part. And then the last thing was there was a reference that Howard Stark made to Hedy Lamarr, and she was an actress around that time, and she actually was a very successful scientist and inventor, and she actually invented the frequency hopping spread spectrum communication. It was originally intended for torpedo guidance. So it's really funny. Captain Carter made a reference to him being a playboy, and he was like, "Hey, something," and then he just kind of made a thing, like a reference to him having been hooking up with her, and I think that's so funny that that he mentions her because she was. She's sort of an unsung hero for that technology and the U.S. defense technology and helping us win wars and stuff. And that they made that reference in sort of when Captain Carter, a woman, is coming in to save the day. So I just thought that was a nice parallel. I knew that name right off the top of my head. As soon as he said it, I knew she was a famous inventor who kind of goes overlooked. I didn't know exactly what it was. I did just have to look up exactly what it was. But yeah, that's my final thought. So if you did like this video, please click that thumbs up button to give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel to see more great reviews, comic book content, things like that. And then also comment down below, let me know what you think. And if you did like this and you think other people you know might like the way I kind of did this and the analysis and stuff, send this video on over to your friends or whomever and spread the word. Alright, thanks again for checking out this video, and have a great day. Bye.